and welcome to the University of Stirling's official YouTube channel. If you don't know me, I'm Kirsty. I'm one of the student vloggers for the Uni of Stirling. I like to make a lot of YouTube videos and the uni has asked me to make another one for you all. Basically just about kind of tips and tricks for like packing for uni, what not to bring, the things you really don't need to bring because they're already covered for you, things that would be pointless to bring in my opinion, and things that you absolutely have to bring, and then things that are kind of optional but might be nice. So we're just going to dive straight in. I've made a list of notes on my phone just to keep me on track, and I'm basically just going to go through it. No matter how many people are in your flat or where your flat is, there's a couple of things that the uni will always cover and that you don't need to bring with you. So it sounds silly enough, but you obviously don't need to bring your own furniture. There is a bed provided. All rooms have a desk, so there is that provided. If you have an ensuite, you have your own bathroom included, including shower. All rooms also come with like a wardrobe and like some shelving space as well, so there's no need to bring any extra furniture with you. Every single accommodation on campus and off campus has EduRoam, which is basically like the uni's Wi-Fi. You will get free access to this on as many devices as you'd like. So there's no need for you to pay for Wi-Fi or bring any Wi-Fi with you. You're also provided with bedding and bed linen. The bed linen, if it's still the same as it was when I was first year, is like a nice white bed sheet with some little green circles on it. It's quite funky. You can bring your own bed linen if you'd like a change, but you do not need to, as there already is some provided for you. But if you want to spice up your room and change like your duvet cover, you can obviously bring your own if you need to. You don't have to, as the uni does provide that for you. Your uni flat, in the kitchen, it also comes with a kettle and microwave. I know some flats across the UK do not, but the Stirling uni provides you with this. So there's no need for you to bring a kettle and there's no need for you to bring another microwave. It's just so helpful for you that way. You also don't need to bring things like a hoover. The uni have like a hoover in most flats. If not, you'll have one at the reception of your building. There are also housekeeping assistants, so you do not need to constantly be hoovering, as the housekeepers will come around at least once a week and kind of make sure your flat's looking tip tidy. Obviously that's one reason you have to keep your flat tidy, but they will give you a hand if you need it. You also have personal insurance for your belongings in your accommodation, so you don't need to get that either. But moving on to things that you do have to bring, obviously that was stuff that the uni provides for you. Stuff that you 100% need to bring, right? There's some things that like obviously you will bring but you might not need to use, but there's the really basic living things. So you're going to need your own plates. The university do not provide you with plates or cutlery or kitchen utensils. The one thing I would say is you don't need tons of plates. I made the mistake in first year of bringing like 5 or 6 plates with me, and it just clatters up the whole kitchen. People end up using plates that are clean just because they're there instead of washing them. So to stay on top of like your kitchen and make sure you're all cleaning and stuff, I definitely recommend just bringing 1 or 2 plates each. It's maybe better to bring 2 just in case one of them smashes, but there is always places that you will be able to get new plates if you find that you need more than 2. But to save you some space, definitely don't bring too many. On that note, cutlery, I would recommend bringing a couple sets of cutlery, 3 or 4 knives and forks and spoons, etc. Because cutlery are like old socks and like a washing machine. They go missing and you'll never know where they go, so it's always best to have a couple extra sets of cutlery, and they don't really take up much space anyway, so I'd advise bringing a couple sets of cutlery. On that note, you also need pots and pans, things like frying pans. If you want to bring a wok, someone in my flat brought a wok and we used to use it all the time. You need to bring those yourself. The uni do not provide that with you. Things like spatulas, spoons, just general like flippers and stuff, you need to bring all that yourself as well. The uni don't provide that. If you have a group chat with your flatmates, if you've been able to find out who they are before you move, you can maybe organise to all share them, but I'd recommend bringing your own just because you will end up using them in 2nd, 3rd year, 4th year as well on. You also need to bring glasses and mugs if you're wanting to drink something. If you plan drinking out a water bottle your entire time, alright, but if you might want to bring like a thermal thing, but I definitely recommend you absolutely need to bring a mug and a glass. Even if you don't like coffee or tea, I don't like coffee and tea, but I found myself having so many hot chocolate nights with my flatmate Amy, so I'd really recommend just bringing some glasses and some mugs. Maybe bring 2 or more of each, simply because like the plate situation, things do happen, stuff does get smashed, and if you broke like a glass, you wouldn't want to be without a glass. So but like I said, you can obviously buy that if you need to later on down the line. You'll also need to bring any documents you need and your ID. So if you're looking for like documents, you might need stuff to prove like your right to work to UK if you're planning on getting a job. Even for UK residents, people think that you just need to do that if you're an international student, but even if you're from the UK, you will need to prove you're able to work in the UK, so that's things like a passport, etc. So you might want to have those on you. If you're booking any holidays while you're at uni, you'll need your passport anyway. If you're planning on going on nights out or buying any alcohol, you'll need to be able to prove you're over 18. So obviously make sure you just have your driver's license if you've got that, or just like a legal form of ID that is a photo ID, I'm pretty sure. A lot of these places, such as like the nightclubs if you're wanting to go there, or the Union if you're looking to purchase anything that you need to be over the age of 18 for, you will need a photo card ID, so your passport or like a driver's license, just something like that. If you're planning on using your laptop at uni, make sure you bring that. Make sure you bring all of your electrical chargers as well, so if you need a laptop charger, if you need your phone charger, if you want to bring maybe a little speaker or something, make sure you bring the charger for that as well. But you definitely need to make sure you've got your laptop for your uni work if you're bringing a laptop, or if you're bringing like an iPad or something to do your uni work on, make sure you've got that. Same goes if you're not bringing a laptop or an iPad, etc., but you're bringing notepads, make sure you've got 1 or 2 notepads just for the first few times, and a couple of pens. You don't need the full stationery shop, just bring a few things to begin with. If you need more, you can buy more on campus or off campus, etc. For example, I'll show you here. My laptop only has USB-C ports and a headphone jack, so if you need any adapters for your laptop, bring those as well, just in case you need them. The other thing that I can think of that you 100% need to bring yourself is your own cleaning products, so things like your toiletries, for example, so you need like shampoo, conditioner, face wash, your face wipes, anything you use, stuff like that. Moisturiser, you'll need to bring that yourself. Obviously the uni aren't going to provide you with shampoos, everyone has different preferences. You will also need to bring things like washing up liquid, clothes deterrent, clothes detergent, oh my gosh, anti-bac wipes, other things like that. The other thing that you 100% need to bring, especially at the moment, really applies to freshers starting this year and applies to people just in general. Obviously we are still kind of in a pandemic, so you will need to bring things like a face mask. At the moment, all shops in Scotland are requiring you to wear a face mask unless you have a health condition that means you don't need to. So bring some face masks. If you've got reusable ones, they're probably the best, especially for the environment. I really recommend them. You just pop them in the wash after you've used them. You can bring obviously you can bring any type of face mask you want, it doesn't need to be reusable, but that is just the greenest way at the moment. Anyway, you also want to bring like sanitary products such as that, like hand sanitizers. You maybe want to bring like some gloves if you feel that you have to wear gloves, it's up to you obviously, but just make sure you've got your coronavirus essentials such as face masks. Optional items, so there is obviously some items that are not essential to living, but they do kind of make you feel a bit better, or they just kind of spice things up. So for example, I brought some extra bedding. I bought like a wee black and white polka dot set and a kind of purpley pink set as well, just to kind of make my room a bit more colourful. I liked the uni set, but I didn't really use it that much because I had my own. I wanted to add my own touch to the room. I think some people in my flat use the unis and some people brought their own, so it's optional to bring your own. You don't need to, like I said earlier, as there is some provided for you. You can bring some posters or pictures to brighten up the room. Uni don't like you sticking things on the walls within reason, and certainly in the accommodation I was in, there's usually like a nice notice board, you can stick stuff on there as well. And it just kind of, fairy lights as well can brighten up your room. The fairy lights have to be battery operated and cannot be plug-in ones, I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed that. But anyway, you can bring like a little plant as well or two just to sit in your windowsill and brighten things up. I know that I had like a wee mini fake plant, it's actually right here. So I had this in my windowsill. So you can bring a little plant like that if you want as well. So home comforts as well is a really good thing that a lot of people bring to uni. For example, I have like a little bear that reminds me of home that I brought with me. I also have a blanket that I just like. I usually have it, I don't actually know where it is. I have a blanket that I take with me when I move into my flats at uni, just because it's something I've always had. And I really recommend blankets, especially when it gets a bit colder in the winter, even though you do have heating that's paid for and your rent, like your bills are paid for in your rent, so is your heating. So you do have that, but it is good sometimes to just have blankets and you can all sit and chill in the kitchen together having some hot chocolate for the vibes and all that, you know. One thing I'd also hugely recommend is a laundry basket. So basically I've got one of those laundry baskets that's like, it just kind of pops up and you put all your stuff in it. One of the girls that I lived with had the incredible idea of getting laundry baskets that had like little straps on them. Not all accommodations have their laundry, like washing machines in that accommodation. For example, I lived in Juniper and our nearest one was Willow, so we had to take our washing over to Willow. I found it hard to carry my weird shaped laundry bag, as it had no handles, over to Willow without looking completely ridiculous. So definitely would recommend, if you're getting a laundry bag, maybe get one that has a wee like strap, or even if you want to get like a wee crate to put your washing in so it's easier to carry over. It just makes life easy. Another huge thing is bags from shops. They tend to be really good for taking clothes over to the washing. So just recommend bringing something that you can put your laundry into anyway. Speaking of that, like obviously you've got your home comforts there. There is some stuff that you shouldn't be wasting space bringing. Obviously you can bring it if you really want to, but there's not much point. So the main thing for me that I had an issue with was in first year was I packed for all weather, but the issue with that is the weather is not proportioned, if that makes sense. So bear in mind you are going to uni from September to May/June usually, and the warmer months in Scotland are June to August. So you are going to be there for the colder kind of months of the year. You can obviously bring some clothes as we do get some warm weather. Like today, for example, it's been really warm here. It's been 27 degrees or something. So it doesn't look like it though I'm wearing a hoodie. But anyway, you might want to bring a couple pairs of shorts if that's what you wear when it's sunny. I will say you will want to bring more relatively warm clothes, especially like some jackets. You do want to bring 1 or 2 waterproof jackets because it does rain a lot in Scotland. Just make sure you've got appropriate clothing, like bring a couple pairs of shoes. But speaking of shoes, you do not want to bring every single pair of shoes you own. Just bring like maybe a couple pairs for going out, a couple pairs for going to classes, etc., or just everyday wear. You don't want to be bringing your entire shoe wardrobe. There is space for a lot of shoes in the uni halls, but you don't want to clog yourself down with shoes, especially if you're coming from somewhere where your suitcase might have a weight limit. Shoes can take up such a large proportion of that. You also don't need to bring the toiletries that I mentioned earlier with you. I'd really recommend just doing a supermarket shop after you arrive. For example, I arrived at halls, saw the kitchen, saw what kind of space we all had, and then went into the supermarket shop. It also prevents you from buying too many things that won't fit in the fridge, as it's unfair to like take up more than like your set amount, because obviously other people do live in the flat. The one thing that I bring it to uni each year regardless of like how little I use it. I'm not bringing it this year, is an iron. I've always brought an iron with me to uni and I have never used it. It's a very bulky thing. You also need to get it tested sometimes for like PAT tested. It's not necessarily the easiest things to bring to uni. If you're not doing a degree where your schoolwork has any relation to it, don't bring your schoolwork. If it's something that you're not studying at uni, don't bring it with you, it's not worth it. On to the last thing that I kind of want to talk about in this video is if you're obviously looking for places to get things, so like I said, buying your toiletries and stuff, there is budget friendly spaces around campus and off campus. So without mentioning like very specific brands, I'll just go into a little bit here for you. So the university actually has its own blue and green space where they have second-hand things. That's a great place to find, like if you've forgotten to bring a pot and pan, there's always stuff in there that you can find. If it's kitchen equipment, take my word on this, you do not need designer things. You're in first year, majority of people have never cooked before or have limited cooking experiences. Disasters do happen when you're learning. All of the sort of value ranges at all the supermarkets, they do just fine in terms of things like frying pans. I'm pretty sure I picked up a frying pan for like £1.50 on sale in one of the shops and it lasted me the entire year. Thrift shopping, if you're looking for clothes, is also really budget friendly and it's very eco-friendly as well, as it doesn't it helps kind of slow down the production of fast fashion. So that's pretty much everything I feel like I've covered. I think I've been speaking quite fast, which I need to kind of stop doing. But basically that's like just a brief kind of overview of things that you need to bring for halls. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd really recommend. Yeah, a board game is like a really good thing to bring. Was just bringing like a little box of chocolates or something and leaving it on the table in the living area, communal space, just so everyone can help themselves. It's kind of like a nice gesture. It sometimes can like break the ice a little bit when people wonder who brought it. They just ask, oh, did you bring this? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe. Let the uni know if you're moving in and if you're excited. Have a look at all the other videos on the channel and I hope you have a really great day.